So I'll just quickly introduce myself and then let my panelists here do the same, and then talk about some exciting news that we announced earlier this week. So I don't know if anybody saw it yet, but hopefully not. So we get to do the big reveal here with you. But I'm Jennifer Teagan. I'm the Managing Director of a program for Empire State Development, which is the economic development agency of New York State called New York Ventures. And New York Ventures is really it's an impact venture capital fund housed within the state government, and where we're looking to both make sure that we're paying attention to the innovation economy, jobs of the future, but also filling in the gaps where we think the entrepreneurs of New York State may need some additional help or support, particularly when it comes to regional geographies, sectors that are strategically important for the state of New York, like life sciences, climate tech, AI, as well as diverse founders. So with that, I'll let Nick introduce himself.
Thanks, Jennifer. Hey, everyone. Nick Porquist, Director of New Ventures at SUNY Research Foundation. SUNY Research Foundation is the research arm. It's a private not-for-profit that administers about $1.2 billion annually for all the research expenditures that come through SUNY's 64 campuses. I'm focused on the commercialization and the entrepreneurship side of our business, focused on getting more SUNY technologies to market, as well as managing our equity portfolio. Happy to talk about today's announcement.
Hi, everybody. I thought, Jennifer, you're going to say you printed money on crane paper. That would have been more fun. I'm Rami Katz. I'm the COO of Excel Partners. Excel Partners is a venture capital fund located in Rochester, New York. We focus on the seed stage of up to an A round. I've been partners with ESD for many, many years, and now happy to start a new partnership with SUNY RF. We are very closely tied to universities in upstate New York. We have on our board University of Rochester, Rochester Institute of Technology, Cornell University, and collaborating with other universities that allows us to focus on deep tech easier, because I don't need to understand that technology. We can leverage all the resources within the wonderful academic institutions we have around us to really digest the technologies and provide assistance beyond capital.
So Rami, I'm going to start with you. So what's the big reveal?
So we're very happy. We've launched Monday a new fund together with the SUNY RF on behalf of Upstate Medical and Empire State Development. Two separate funds are actually acting as one. Upstate Biotech Ventures will be a new seed stage, pre-seed seed stage fund that will be focused on health tech, and it will provide access to clinical validation through the different hospitals and the region, focusing on Upstate Medical.
Great, thank you. And Nick, can you, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks. Nick, can you talk a little bit more about the key players that came together to make this new fund possible?
Sure, yeah. So as Rami mentioned, this is really a partnership between SUNY Research Foundation on behalf of Upstate Medical University, as well as the Central New York Biotech Accelerator. Kathy Durden's here. Kathy, where are you? I saw you taking a picture. Yeah. So Kathy runs one of the most effective, high-performing accelerators in the state, I believe, with the Central New York Biotech Accelerator, and that's really the vehicle for this fund. The other partners are obviously Empire State Development, who's serving as kind of a 50-50 LP in the first one with SUNY RF on behalf of Upstate Medical. And our general partner for the fund is Excel Partners, and we all know Rami and Teresa and their track record investing in seed stage and early stage ventures across the state. And we're really excited about this partnership. We're starting with a $6 million fund, and we're going to fundraise, as soon as this week through the community players in Central New York, the Upstate Medical Foundation, other community and individual stakeholders that have an affinity for the Central New York Biotech Accelerator, for Upstate Medical, or just life sciences and health tech innovations in general. So if you're a prospective LP and want to talk to us about the fund, how you can get involved and kind of build on the leverage of the $6 million that we've already closed, please do talk to us, and we'd be happy to chat.
I agree with everything you said.
Just talking a little bit more about the origins of the fund and the kind of the critical factors that made it possible. Rami, could you speak a little bit more about that, in particular around the Central New York Biotech Accelerator and the relationship there and how it will work?
So it really adds, like comes out to be a perfect universe. So Empire State Development has been a great supporter of Excel since Excel's inception, and we're about, next year will be our 20th year. So thank you, Jen, and the ESD team. And we were fortunate. I was on the board of the Central New York Biotech, still am on the board of the Biotech Accelerator since its inception. And I remember when we first in discussions with Kathy said, who's gonna populate an incubator in the middle of Syracuse with biotech startups? And today there's a waiting list. There are 4 breakthrough technologies that are there, and really making a big change in the life science area there. I think the fundamental thesis here, as I said, there's a lot of money when there's a good venture coming up. And our always thought for Excel is we will never be able to compete on money. We have cash, we can write checks, but that's not really the distinction factor. The collaboration with the resources that Nick at SUNY RF has, that the state can bring to bear, and really the clinical excellence at the hospitals around us, that's what makes the difference. Because if you think about it, if the doctors like the product, or the new technologies, if the institutions, and there's a different calculations for a medical institution than a practicing physician to say, will I actually deploy it in my system? And better yet, I can help you get clinical validation to show that things actually work. Now you have a real continuum, and we have some additional partnerships down the road that will help hopefully really expedite the way new technologies, medical technologies are brought to the marketplace, and really leveraging the great mentorship resources that Kathy has in her Central New York Biotech Accelerator.
Yeah, I really do think the access to the core facilities, the clinical studies, and some of the animal studies that can be done at a very effective, cost-effective rate for startups in an environment where costs are going out of control for these types of studies really helps put this fund in a different spot, because Upstate Medical is really a leader in working with startups and innovators to get them through some of these very early stage pre-IND things that need to happen for these companies to be at the point where larger venture capital funds or strategic investors are coming into the play. So the sweet spot with us for this fund is we're looking at writing checks from 100K to 500K up to $1 million for follow-on, and then pre-Series B companies, because we see that's really where the gap is in the market. So yeah, anything else to add on?
No, nothing. Eventually, the real currency is data, right? If you want to have a life science company, you need data to support your claims. And that is the unique asset, in addition to cash and mentors that can really make or break a new venture. And that's what we have there. So I think it's a very exciting new collaboration.
And if you haven't been recently to the Central New York Biotech Accelerator, I certainly encourage you to reach out to Kathy, who tells me she loves more than anything giving tours and introducing people to the amazing resources, assets, and companies that are there. I had the privilege of a tour on Monday, and got to see a couple of companies that we've invested in, but also a couple more that we maybe should be thinking about. So definitely well worth it. It's an incredible resource in Central New York for anybody doing anything in medical devices and biotech. Nick, you've been working on this. I've known you for a little while. I think we both have gray hair to show for that. This is something that I know has been, just a project for you for a number of years, wanting to get, one of these like really early stage funds. So, but I'd love to hear a little bit more around the context for the environment of this fund. Where is it emerging from, kind of some of the evidence that you've seen on the innovation side, particularly from the standpoint of SUNY Research Foundation and the SUNY system overall, that makes you, really excited about the prospects of what's to come.
Sure. So yeah, taking a step back, as I said, we're administering about $1.2 billion annually through a mix of federal, state, and industry sponsored programs. In the last fiscal year alone, across SUNY, there's been 211 invention disclosures, 257 patent applications, 71 patents issued, 60 license agreements executed, and we have right now, just in that last fiscal year, 142 spin-outs that have come out of SUNY campuses, in addition to several hundred additional startups that are working with the 18 SUNY incubators and accelerators that are based at our campuses. In addition, if you look at our overall patent portfolio and license portfolio, we have 1,900 patents and over 1,000 licenses. So just a really good funnel of technology. A lot of it happens to be sitting on the shelf, but we're trying to change that. And with efforts like this, I think that really helps move the needle. In addition, through those licenses, SUNY owns equity in about 60 companies that has a paper value of over $500 million through our minority stakes. That's when we're getting equity in lieu of fee for patent services and other things that happen at the earliest stages, typically pre-company formation or when a company's licensing or optioning a technology from us. So in addition to that, we have a growing technology to market ecosystem across SUNY. We have a summer accelerator program that we call SUNY Startup Summer School. We have 400 participants in that, where we try to touch as many faculty, students, and staff across SUNY and expose them to entrepreneurship. We have an EIR program that we deploy generalist and specialist EIRs to our most promising entrepreneurial teams and to spin-outs that we're spinning out, as well as companies that are working with our affiliated incubators. We have a SUNY Startup GrantWorks program because for a lot of this technology, it's deep technology. It's very capital intensive, long lead times to market, typically takes some non-dilutive or government funding to come into those companies. We've helped companies secure $15 million in STTR, SBR funding in just the past couple of years. And we have a design studio program to help our companies look more sophisticated, where we're helping develop logos, taglines, and brand strategies for our companies that are getting traction in the market with investors and partners and customers. So that's in addition to at our flagship campuses at UB, University of Buffalo, and Stony Brook University, dedicated teams that are managing startup programs, technology development programs that are funded by NISTAR and other ESD assets, as well as programs that are based at Binghamton University, University of Albany, and New York creates the Albany Nanotech Complex. So there's a huge ecosystem and pipeline of technology that we see. And if you look at that kind of the programs I just went through, the big thing that's been missing for us historically, as you noted, is venture funding programs for our campuses. And so when we're looking at trying to fill those gaps, it always comes down, from my perspective, to talent and capital. So I think a lot of those programs really help on the talent side, somewhat on the very early stage capital side, and then efforts like Upstate Biotech Ventures are really helping fill out the capital side and getting these companies to the point where larger established investors can come in and follow on after us and get these technologies to market and enable these startups to kind of grow healthy and scale in New York State and not have to move to another state to get the funding.
See, and so just looking at my near college age daughter, that SUNY really is a great place to go.
It is.
It's an excellent place. Yeah.
Well, she was looking at colleges across the country, but anyway, finally, Rami,
And it's a better price tag.
maybe so. Rami, I want to hear a little bit more from you about, I know that it's certainly when I see a lot of SUNY companies come through here, but could you talk a little bit about the types of companies that should be applying, how they apply, how the process will work?
So we'll have a dedicated website coming up. In the meantime, if you want to just go to excelny.com, we have a pitch to us section and complete a very easy application process. We start doing that, and that drives our databases. We'll come back to you. We're looking for anything that is active in the health tech space. So it can be medical devices, healthcare IT, biotech. We're not afraid of pharmaceuticals as well, although that's not really the focus of it because of the capital of the time that is required. But anything that can really leverage the assets is that we have. So Excel has an existing partnership with the University of Rochester Medical Center. Now we've extended that with SUNY Upstate Medical. So we really can bring, in addition to money, a lot of clinical validation services. And if you think of the continuum of a startup, as Nick mentioned, right, anything that is developing unique IP will require some data. So, and that data, especially in the life sciences space, is extremely difficult to obtain because there's always a gap of capital. And this is what this fund can solve. So for example, if you're a wellness company, right, that is relatively non-invasive, using more AI tools to teach people how to diet, how to manage their stress, etc. Even that requires validation, right? And I'm saying even that in the sense that it's a non-invasive. We're not injecting anything to anybody, but you need a significant amount of data to start going and developing the next stage, right? What actually works? how can I trigger the next level of SBIR or any other type of NIH funding, et cetera, to bring it to get you ready to the next stage of investment and clinical development. So to me, the real unique piece that we're bringing is in addition to capital and mentoring, is the access to clinical resources that can actually validate what you're doing and set you aside. So anybody that needs some research collaboration, clinical validation, access to labs and medical services, we should consider this fund. And we will always work with you and say, hey, if it's not a good fit, we'll try to direct you to many of the other peers or to NOAA to really connect you across the ecosystem, because we have a lot of resources here that can help, and we try to stick to our swim lane, but really define other people that, hey, here's anybody else who can help us.
And in terms of eligibility for the entrepreneurs in the audience or those who are interested, this fund is not just for Upstate technologies or people. So in order to be eligible for this fund, you need to be a client of the Central New York Biotech Accelerator. So we're hoping that model will help attract additional companies into the Central New York ecosystem as well. So by joining the accelerator, working in an active collaboration with Upstate Medical University, you are eligible for this fund. And I'll also say that the ESD Community Regional Partner Fund program that we're leveraging for this has been just great. And then we're hoping that other SUNY campuses can follow the model that we've developed with Upstate Biotech Ventures and launch similar funds at their campuses. So it's a really exciting time.
And Heidi, who you saw earlier, is the manager of the Community and Regional Partner Fund program. So anybody who's interested in learning more, hit her up, me up, either way.
We have so many assets in deployment, and I think this is what I get excited about it is we are getting better realigning them and actually working together, because everybody's working together on an offsite basis, kind of on one, and now we're trying to do it in a more programmatic manner. So I think it'll be very exciting time to be starting with life sciences, and I think, but then hopefully other sectors will follow as well, because I think that's a really big difference. Because again, there is capital, even though we've heard there's much less right now. Like we're tracking about, there's about 40% less seed stage capital now than it used to be in 2021. It's a big difference. So this fund is very timely, and from our experience, funds that start during downtimes usually outperform the market. So if any, to Nick's earlier call, any LPs that want to join the ride will be happy to take you along. But really aligning all this immense set of resources that we have it should be every entrepreneur's dream coming to this.
I guess the other thing I'll add is that this is a for-profit fund, so we're expecting Excel to generate a return for ESD, for SUNY Research Foundation, and for any LPs that are interested. This is a returns-based for-profit fund. It's not an evergreen fund. We intend to reinvest those proceeds into additional funds.
Now you tell me we need to make money.
Great. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.